Hi you guys, and welcome back to another video. So today's video, I really wanted to get into the common mistakes that you may face when you're tapping into your main character, lifestyle, mindset, and shift of thinking. When I did this, I made so many mistakes during this time. When we are trying to be in our main character energy, we look at a lot of content, consume things that we think may be, advice on how to be the main character, how to be the it girl. A lot of these tips are to drink water out of a wine glass, go for walks, buy a luxurious perfume, do all of these things, but really I feel like we're not really tailoring it and personalizing it to our specific person and to our specific lifestyle. When I started tapping into my main character story and era, I was consuming a lot of content that was related to how influencers live their lives, different Instagram aesthetics, overall the imagery of what I thought main character looked like for me, and also listening to podcasts and everything like that. I feel like this is why we're starting to see that a lot of people are starting to look the same, starting to dress the same, starting to act the same, think the same way, and sound the same way. We are consuming way too much content and not really spending a lot of time with ourselves to really figure out what actually fits us. One thing that you can do to combat this, instead of trying to add all of these things, right? As soon as we decide that we're going to be the main character, we want to add an aesthetic, we want to add new clothes, we want to add new shoes, we want to add all of the things that we think will make us the main character, the it girl, the that girl. Try to actually subtract and try to actually build on what you already have. For example, whatever home that you're in, instead of trying to just run out and add a bunch of decor, trying to fill spaces so quickly, why don't you try to subtract rid of the things that you don't use and also try to organize your space. Add things very slowly. When you're changing your personal style, don't go out and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on new clothes. Your style, as I've learned, constantly evolves, constantly changes as you're growing, as you mature, as you develop newer and better concepts for your life, for your era. When I was trying to get healthier and do my exercise routine, I found myself saving a lot of workout routines on Instagram, on TikTok. I found myself buying a lot of bundles that included workout plans and all the things, which that could be really helpful and really beneficial to a lot of women, because a lot of women feel like they need accountability partners, and it's never a bad investment when you're investing into yourself and your health. But for me personally, I do better with simplified routines that are quick, effective, and mindless. I am a nurse. I wear multiple hats as a nurse. I'm constantly charting, I'm constantly thinking, I constantly have information overload with my day-to-day activities, just managing my career, managing my household, and trying to be a good partner in my relationship. When I go to the gym, I'm already tired. Okay, I'm already tired. A lot of the times we end up putting our fitness on the back burner because it feels too daunting to tackle. So I have simplified my routine. The next mistake that I made was thinking that things and materials were going to help me change the way that I feel about myself. When we hear that materials and money don't make you happy, coming from a standpoint where if you don't have the money, if you don't have the materials, you really have a hard time grasping that concept. Financials can be on the forefront of many of our minds, but I will say, when I was trying to be in my main character era, I did find myself spending more than what was necessary for that time period and really trying to be in a place where I wasn't necessarily ready and comfortable in being at that time. Materials did not change me. I mean, I bought the purses, I bought the shoes, I bought the fragrance, I bought the home decor, I bought all of the things that you can possibly imagine. None of it has really changed the way that I thought. Some people may think that it could change the way that they feel, change the way that they carry themselves, and change their outer appearance, and in turn help them to build better confidence and everything else. Honestly, I will say that you want whatever you add to your life, you want it to add to you and not to be a part of you. What the main things that you should be focusing in on is your thought process, your routine, trying to be healthy, trying to grow, trying to elevate, and honestly building better and stronger relationships with the people that you love and appreciate. The materials are an added bonus, but they are not the main prerequisite to being the main character in your life. The next thing I want to mention that I see a lot of, especially on the internet, is that a lot of the people who are in their main character era feel like it is their selfish era. I guess we all have different definitions of what selfish is. Now, some people could feel like, you know, this is my selfish era. I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna focus on building myself, my self-improvement, all of these things. Now, I personally don't feel like that is selfish, okay? But I do feel like there are selfish qualities and characteristics about people that are being overlooked or being socially accepted in those spaces, when sometimes it could just really be giving mean girl energy. Like, we as main characters, there are still other characters at play. Our stories are better when we have others who add to it. So I definitely want to say that denying self for somebody else sometimes is healthy. It is character development. It is good for your morals. It is good for your value. It is good for if you have a certain type of faith. It is good. Boundaries are not selfish, but sometimes y'all boundaries do be a little selfish sometimes. Like, you can't be considerate of others sometimes over yourself. Like, I don't know. I think it's just really important to have a good balance of what your main character season actually looks like. That way you can be intentional moving forward. Our intention is not to hurt others. Our intention is to grow, to prosper, to better ourselves, but also to build better relationships. Comparison is literally so hard. It is one of the things that you can be really intentional about and not think about for a while, and then you find yourself back in this continuous loop. Comparison really does take away from the beauty of your own journey. And it's really unfortunate because we a lot of the times feel like people are living way better than us. Constantly in this state of somebody has a better body, somebody has a better life, somebody has a better this. She's getting princess treatment. She's like, we literally compare ourselves almost to the point to our own detriment. How can we truly focus on growing what we have ourselves? Comparison is natural. That's not the point. We do naturally compare when we see things, but the main point is, the main takeaway is that you really have to do a check-in constantly of how comparing is affecting your life. So you can see something and really like desire something and be happy for somebody and feel like, okay, it's gonna happen for me one day. I feel like that's a healthy comparison. It's a healthy blueprint for you. It's a healthy vision and inspiration for you to have. But when it becomes to where you are feeling down about yourself, you are self-deprecating, your self-talk is just very negative, and it's starting to affect the way that you show up. It's starting to affect your discipline. It's starting to affect you even having a vision for yourself. That's when it gets dangerous, and that's when I feel like you really have to fall back and recoup and regather yourself to where you can start really truly being the main character again, because it really does become hard when you start happy, you start fulfilled, you start in gratitude, and then things start to slowly chip away because you're spending so much time comparing your story to the next. Lastly, I want to lead with show grace to others. It is so important to show grace to others, just as it is important to show grace to ourselves. a lot of the times I feel like as the main character, a lot of people are very judgy to those who have not shown growth or who are not on the same wavelength as you in that moment. It is not fair to people to expect them to be in the same place that you're at mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, whatever the case may be. Like I said, you're comparing yourself, so now you feel a certain type of way, or you're looking down on others because they're not at the level that you're at. That is not fair to them, and you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. Stay strong in your boundaries, but at the end of the day, we have to accept that we're all different, and that is okay. It is beautiful. Show grace to others as you're the main character, and show grace to yourself, okay? If you made it this far into the video, I want you to give me a big thumbs up, and also leave me a comment down below of what were your main takeaways from this video. If you like these kinds of videos from me, let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video. I love you guys.
Sunlight that always stays, dinner by the waterway. It's that sweet life. Raise your cross. Made some dude crack a smile. He asked if I could stay a while.